Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to be moving on to looking at subtracting fractions. We're going to be using a lot of resources that are quite similar to yesterday, and as is yesterday, we've got a lot of similar patterns that we'll find, namely that the denominator will always stay the same. Remember that as we go through the questions today. Let's get started with our Discover then. I'll read it out to you and then you'll have some time to have a go yourself. So we've got two guys in a spaceship here. The first question is how much fuel will be left after the journey home? And then the second part of the question is if fuel was to be full before the journey home, what would the answer be? You need to pay attention to the picture for this one. So as you can see, they've got a fraction of the fuel tank left here. And it says underneath the journey home will use 3/8 of a tank of fuel. So how much fuel will be left after that journey home where they've used another 3/8 of fuel? Then have a go at working out if the fuel tank had been full to start with, what would the answer be? Pause the video now and give yourself a few minutes to have a go at that. Okay, let's have a look at some answers together. So at the start, the fuel tank is 5/8 full. And we're going to use 3/8 of that. So we're going to be subtracting, taking that away. So we start with 5/8. We then use up 3/8, 1, 2, 3. And that will leave us with 2/8 of the fuel tank left. So 5/8 take away 3/8 equals 2/8. Notice that the denominator stays the same. Just as with addition, when we're doing subtraction with fractions, the denominator stays the same. What has changed is the numerator. So 5 take away 3 is 2. You can show this in a few different ways as well. So on here we've got a bar that's been split up into 8 equal parts. 5 of those parts have been shaded in, so 5/8 has been shaded. And then we've crossed out 3 to show them being taken away, and what's left is 2. Another way to have a go at this problem is on a number line. You start at 5/8 and then count back 3/8. 1, 2, 3/8. And that leaves us with 2/8 of the fuel tank left. But what if the fuel tank had been full? So when everything is coloured in, that is one whole. Because we're counting in 8s at the minute, a whole is 8/8. We start with 8/8 and then we're going to take away, subtract 3/8 again. So here's the bar. Taking away 3/8, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 left because 8 take away 3 is 5. You can do exactly the same thing on a number line. Here they've marked a whole as 1, which is correct, but you could also show that as 8/8. Taking away the 3/8 leaves us with 5/8 left. So if the fuel was full before the journey home, there would be 5/8 of the fuel left after the journey home. We'll move on to the think together now. As with yesterday, I will talk through the first one with you and then you'll be able to have a go on your own. Okay, so we've got to complete the subtractions. 7/8 take away 5/8 equals what? Let me grab a pen here. So we've got 7/8 shaded in on the circle here. We need to take away, remove 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has left us with 2/8 here. So we have got 2/8 left. 2 parts out of 8 altogether. Have a go at question B. 1 take away 3/10. Use this bar to help you here. How many will be coloured in if 1 is our starting number? Pause the video, have a go on some paper and then come back to work out the answers with me. Okay, so 1 is the same as a whole. because it is divided into 10 parts, 10 tenths makes a whole. I'm not going to bother colouring them all in because they would just have to all be coloured in. We now need to subtract 3 tenths from that whole. So I'm going to cross them out. 1, 2, 3. We've got this many parts left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have got 7 tenths left, because there are 7 out of 10 parts that have not been crossed off. Let's have a look at some more questions. Okay. Have a go at these on your own and then come back for some answers in a few minutes. Question A asks you to do 6 elevenths, take away 2 elevenths, and part B asks you to do 1 whole one, take away 1/4. Pause the video and come back in a minute. Right, so 6 elevenths, take away 2 elevenths. I'm going to use that bar just next to the question to help me work this out. First of all, I have shaded in 6 parts to show the 6 elevenths. Now I need to subtract 2 of those elevenths. There we go, cross them off. We're subtracting. The denominator, the number at the bottom, stays the same. So I know I'm going to have elevenths as my answer. So a number of elevenths. I can count using that bar to see that I have got 4 elevenths left. So the answer to 6 elevenths take away 2 elevenths is 4 elevenths. For part B, we started with a whole one. Here it is on the number line. Another way of showing a whole one when we're talking about quarters is 4/4. 4 over 4. And we had to subtract 1/4. So I'm going to move 1/4 back on my number line. This leaves us with 3/4 as the answer. Well done if you got those right. If not, just go back and have another look at them. Can you make some corrections yourself? Okay, same as yesterday. If you are somebody who would like to go straight onto your Green Power Maths book, today we are working on page 24. There are some really great questions here. Use the pictures and the number lines to help you. That is what they are there for. Have a go through the book. Have a really good go at all of the questions. Practice your skills on question 4 as well, okay? I expect most of you will be able to get to there with no problems. If there are any problems though, please just email your teacher. We're more than willing to help you if you do get stuck with anything like that. If you think you're ready for a bit more of the challenge, keep watching the video and we'll go through some challenge questions together. Okay, so the question asks us to complete the calculation. 7ths take away 7ths equals 2 sevenths. So we're going to start with an amount, take away something, some sevenths, and our answer will be 2 sevenths. There are loads of different answers for this. This is one of those challenge questions where there isn't just one answer that we've got to find. There are lots of different answers. I would like to have a go at working systematically. That means in a pattern or with an order. I might start off by saying I start with 3 sevenths. Now I know to get back to 2 sevenths, I'll need to take that one away. So 3 sevenths, take away 1 seventh, leaves me with 2 sevenths. Where could you go next? Instead of starting with 3 sevenths, what is a logical number or fraction to start with next? Have a go, then come back to the video when you've done. Okay, some other possible answers you can have. You could start with 4 sevenths, take away 2 sevenths. 5 sevenths, take away 3 sevenths. 6 sevenths, take away 4 sevenths, or 7 sevenths, take away 5 sevenths. All possible answers that you could have had. Just make sure that your answer will leave you with 2 sevenths. We're not going to go beyond 7 sevenths here. We're still working within fractions within 1. For part B, it asks you to find the difference between 2 fractions. Or sorry, the difference between 2 fractions is 3 tenths. I'd just like you to draw your attention here to this word, difference. When we are asked to find the difference between two things, it is the same as asking us to take away. For example, if I have two towers here, the red tower is taller than the green tower. To find the difference, I want to know how much taller. It's this much taller here. I can use some more blocks to show that difference here. This is how much different they are. So to work out the difference between two amounts, this could be two fractions, two whole numbers, the size of two objects, you need to take the smaller one away from the greater one. And this will leave you with the difference. So what this question is really asking us is to find two fractions that when you take one away from the other, the answer is 3/10. I've put a circle around that on the number line for you. And just like with part A, there's loads of different possible answers for this one. Have a go at working some out. And then when you have done, you can move on to your Power Maths book. Just to remind you, we're on page 24 today, doing subtracting fractions. Please don't forget to have a go at the reflect as well at the end. And don't forget to explain your answer for that reflect, writing in full sentences, and give lots of evidence to support your thinking as well. As always, email myself or Ms. Holmes if you've got any issues. We are happy to help you out. And good luck. Remember that denominator stays the same. Bye.